Hey, this is ThinkerThunker. Remember this video 12 years back, viral video, 1.4 million views, posted by Josh Highcliffe. Come give Josh a subscribe and a like. I think I saw a skunk ape. Please help. Have a watch. There is something sitting out there in the swamp, breaking out huge chunks out of a tree. Here we go. Now here, I've stabilized that footage and zoomed in some, and we can see right there, it's pulled out a big, like possibly chunk of the white meat of that tree and appears to be eating it, and it chomps away, and then it finally tosses it, and it sits there the whole time, not knowing that there's a guy just, say 40, 50 feet back behind him filming, and then finally right here, it stands up and appears to be pretty big. But the thing is, we can see its knees bending right there. And so there I put a bar. So I'm going to show you something that science should have shown the world, say, over 50 years back, but they never did. It's a way to let us finally see whether this is a man in a monkey suit, a bear, which is what some think it is, or something else. So let's go check it out. Okay, so here is what we're shooting for. If that thing is a bear, which it's not, it's going to have body proportions that look like this. A big, long torso, which we see right there, sitting on top of short little front and rear legs. If this thing is a dude in a monkey suit, which it's not, it's going to have body proportions just the opposite of a bear. It's going to have relatively short torso and arms sitting on top of these big, giant, long human legs of ours, and it's the same whether we're 4'8" or 8'8". These are your proportions, my proportions, and the same proportions of every normal, typical adult human on the planet, male or female. All ethnicities. And for all you guys who believe that Michael Phelps, Olympic swimming great, single-handedly destroys my belief on human proportions, here I've measured Michael Phelps. We see him over on the left. He has the same proportions you do, relatively short torso and arms sitting on top of legs 30% longer. It's that he wears Speedos, which naturally makes his torso look longer. It's an illusion. So here is the first step of a species identification system that I developed. I wrote a book about this called Solved. It's out on Amazon now. And I have pulled the image of our mystery creature there in the back. I have pulled it into a 3D program, and this is a human 3D skeleton. And I have rescaled and posed this thing, every single limb, so that it fits the mystery figure as closely as possible. Here is what that pose looks like of it standing there in that swamp looking down. Next step is I'm going to draw in some measurement bars going from major body joint like the hip socket down to the knee, from the knee down to the ankle, and from the tip of its tailbone, which is about right there, up to the base of its neck, and from its shoulder socket down to its elbow, and elbow down to wrist. And here I took each of the 5 measurement bars and gave them a different color just so that we can more easily tell them all apart. And also, we couldn't see this thing's shins very well. So we know that we humans, our shin is just a small percentage shorter than our thighs. So the shin measurement came from its thigh. So here's the thing. It is a scientific fact that we humans absolutely stink at judging proportions, body proportions specifically. And so just looking at this thing, looking at these measurement bars, it's really hard to tell what's longer. Is its torso longer? We just can't tell. So to make that easier, I've taken all 5 of the measurement bars and pulled them over here to the side in what I call a pDNA, or a proportional DNA chart. Again, that's in my book Solved. And so we see that whatever this thing is, bear, human, gorilla, whatever, it has a torso and arms and legs, all the same relative length. Now all we have to do are some simple comparisons to see and finally know, after all these years, what this thing is. Okay, so here we go. This is the last step of my image-based species identification system for everybody who just knew that this thing was a bear. Place your bets. I'm going to bring these bear body proportions over here. Now let me close this out. And I'll rescale those a bit, scale them down, something about like that. Proportions are scalable. Doesn't matter if it's the size of a postage stamp all the way up to a building, the proportions remain the same. So let me zoom in here. Use your own eyes. Are the configurations, the lengths of the bars in blue team here, the exact same as they are in the bear yellow team on the right? And of course not. They are profoundly different. We see again, blue team has torso, arms, and legs all about the same length, and the bear has a great long torso sitting on top of short little legs. So all you guys, for all these years, 14 years, that believe this is a bear, whoa, you couldn't have been more wrong. Next step, for everybody for the past 14 years that knew 100% that the help I saw a skunk ape here was just a dude in a monkey suit, put your money where your mouth is. I'm going to bring human body proportion bars over here, and I'll move them over here and rescale them the same way. So now let me zoom in. Use your own eyes here. Are blue team's measurement bars the exact same lengths as red team's over here on the right? Of course they are not. They are entirely and utterly, profoundly different. So whatever this thing is, it is 100% not a human. So if our mystery blue team creature here isn't a human, and we can see that it is profoundly not a human, and if it is not a bear, and we can see that it is also profoundly not a bear, and we can also see that each of these species has its own incredibly unique body proportions. So what the heck is it? And just so happens, I measured the Patterson forest giant the exact same way. So now I'm going to pull Patty's body proportions over here, and I'll scale them down a little just to match others, make all this easier to see. There we go. Now, use your own eyes. Does our mystery blue team creature more closely match up with green team on the far left, with red team, or yellow team? And I believe a small child, say 5 years old, could tell us that green team and blue team are a match. So whatever our mystery creature is out here, it has the exact same body proportions as the Patterson forest giant. And since each species has its own unique body proportions that are consistent within that species, then we know that the Patterson forest giant and today's mystery creature are the same species. Okay, so here is where some of you are going to say, okay, so this thing has an incredibly long torso, too long to be a human, too long for its legs, but it could be a suit, a Bigfoot suit with a fake head, fake shoulders, and an incredibly long torso, where the real guy in this monkey suit, his head's way down here, blah, blah, blah. But let me ask you this. Why would somebody 14 years ago have gone to the time, trouble, and expense of making a fake Bigfoot suit and giving it an incredibly long torso when nobody in the world was talking about Bigfoots having long torsos? I mean, I didn't discover the proportional differences between humans and forest giants until, say, about 2 or 3 years back. And so, people 14 years ago or even 5 or 10 years ago might have been talking about Bigfoots having long arms, but not long torsos. So your explanation there of this being a fake suit with a long torso makes absolutely zero sense. And you would just have to find that Bigfoot suit with an incredibly long torso before anybody in the world would believe you. And if you look right here, we can see this thing lifting its arms all the way up, head height like that, which means, oh, and here, let me back up just a little. And right in there, we see it looking up into the tree. We see its chin go up as it looks up in there. So this thing has a functional head and functional arms and shoulders, which means it would be impossible for this to be a fake suit with a super long torso with a dummy head and dummy arms. Unless, of course, you're thinking that this is some like $1 million Hollywood special effects suit that's got like an animatronic head and arms, and you've got guys off to the side with pneumatic devices controlling it all, puppeting this giant thing. And if you believe that, that's fine, but you are going to have to find that suit and all of the animatronics before anybody will believe you. And last, for any of you thinking the reason for all of this is because I just simply profoundly mismeasured all of this, okay, I'll bite. I'm going to grab its shin and thigh like that. And remember, before our mystery creature here could be a human, look at Red Team over here. It would have to have legs that are about 30% longer than its torso and arms, instead of legs that are the same length as its torso and arms. So I would have to have mismeasured by about that much. That's how far off I would have had to been on his legs. And any reasonable person could see that I couldn't have possibly been 30% wrong measuring its legs or torso or arms. So wrapping up, me personally, I have made 2 videos discussing this video, and there have been countless others over the past 14 years. And it just seems unimaginable that anybody could have ever just simply measured this thing's body proportions and then compared it to human or bears or any other larger primates so that we could finally know 100% what this thing is. I think that's pretty incredible. So I want to thank my patrons and my YouTube members for supporting me. Your $1 a month has led to me finally being able to provide real, simple, scientific answers based on logic. So thank you guys so very much. And again, if you want to know more about all of this, my image-based species identification system and proportional DNA, go check out my book, Solved. It's out on Amazon. All right, everybody, thank you so much for watching and subscribing. Doing so helps tell my boss, YouTube, that my videos are worth sharing to a larger audience so that they can finally see the truth, which is we now have proof that big furry giants are real. All right, everybody, take care.